They're terrible, they're a blight on the world, and when we all fuck off in a blaze of irradiated fire, all the remaining animals will get together for a great big disintegrated forest knees-up. Wait, there's a TV show called Humans. Whoopsie, what a charming mistake that wheedled out that opinion from me. Not exactly a hard opinion to coax out. In fact, I've been banned from the nearby nursery for shouting this at the children. So, twice in 1 month I'm talking about a show that discusses human relations with robots, although in this show the relations are largely consensual. Westworld was a theme park filled with robots. Humans is just robots are our slaves. So perhaps we could pit these two against each other in some kind of head-to-head face-off, comparing different facets of both shows to see which is superior. It's Westworld. Oops, sorry, I just ruined a nice and easy gimmick to hang this review on to make it easier to write. But come on, Westworld had an exceptional story with a wondrous setting that kept me interested. Here it's just a suburban family coping with their new glorified rumba with tits. And Humans is actually a good show, great even, but the show it's stepping into the ring with is bringing everything it has and more. It isn't a fair comparison. So Humans is set in our world at a time when synthetic humans can be bought off Dan Tetzel and do pretty much anything you need around the house. The stories are set around people who, for one reason or another, don't trust them. The main story revolves around Catherine Parkinson living with a family of hateful twats who treat her like shit. Her husband goes out and buys one knowing she won't want one. Her eldest daughter is just an appalling person. She's written as the troubled teen, but the dialogue clearly comes across as written by people who are too old and riddled with Alzheimer's to remember what teenagers actually are. Plus, she can hack, like that girl from off of Jurassic Park. As usual, if I can spot a film parallel, it's too obvious. As well as that, she has a younger daughter who is a child and thus has no empathy and thus treats poor Catherine Parkinson like I would treat the E4 commissioning editor. And a teenage son who wants to bang the robot because he's a teenager who's clearly backed up like a high-pressure hose. I have no sympathy for this kid, because the household appliance he's getting all Westworld over is human-like. If I wanted to shove it into the appliance, I'd have to get the Henry Hoover out, and for some reason there's a stigma attached to that. The grinning plastic prick tease. The best performance is definitely Gemma Chan as the family robot with a mysterious backstory. She's a standout performance, but somehow every synth role is someone who can invoke the uncanny valley using only their faces. In fact, there isn't really a poor acting performance. There's pretty questionable dialogue. The key thing is, in a show containing humans and robots, you don't want people to be sat around going, "They can't really be human. That's not something any person would ever say." Overall, however, this is a very good show. In fact, I'm more than happy to say it's the second best synth series this year. It poses interesting philosophical questions about a future where humans will slowly be pushed out of jobs by machines that don't stare at you in judgment for turning up to the supermarket twice in one day for biscuits. It also does a good job showing a realistic depiction of how humans would cope with a robot helping them out. It is honestly a really good show. It's just a shame that I watched it the same week I watched Westworld, because yes, it may have poignant ideas on the nature of humanity, but does it have Ed Harris shooting people with his shriveled raisin face? No. And yes, you may call that a childish attitude to have in the face of an interesting character drama, but fuck you. No robot's going to be replacing me anytime soon. Maybe when they finally come up with a robot that can come up with long-winded, convoluted and nonsensical compound swear words, like spam-gobbling bollock ticklers.